Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
His grace, Samvati Prabhu ki
Jai Prabhu.
Antakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. I just realized when Prabhu was asking who's here for the first time, just because I slept here, I forgot that I must be for the first time. I should raise my hand. So I'm very happy to be here with everyone. ISKCON Orlando. And in this time of Kartik month. So we'll read a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we can discuss 1 or 2 points. And hope we are enthused somewhat in our Krishna consciousness. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We'll read from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 9, entitled Mother Yashoda Finds Lord Krishna, text 18. So I'll just chant the verse and then we'll do the translation together. Swamatu Swina Gatraya Vishrasta Kavara Shraja Dristva Parishramam Krishna Kripaya Sitswa Bandane. Please repeat. Swamatu, of his own mother, Krishna's mother Yashoda Devi. Swinagatraya, when Krishna saw his mother, perspiring all over, because of unnecessary labor. Vishrasta were falling down. Kabara from her hair. Shraja of whom the flowers. Dristva by seeing the condition of his mother. Parishramam he could understand that she was now overworked. And feeling fatigued. Krishna, 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 the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kripaya, by his causeless mercy upon his devotee. And mother. Asit, agreed. Swabandane, in binding him. Translation. Because of Mother Yashoda's hard labor.
Because his mother's.
Yes, you can repeat. Because of Mother Yashoda's hard labor. A whole body became covered with perspiration. And the flowers and comb were falling from her hair. When child Krishna saw his mother, thus fatigued, he became merciful to her and agreed to be bound. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. When Mother Yashoda and the other ladies finally saw that Krishna, although decorated with many bangles and other jeweled ornaments, could not be bound with all the ropes available in the house, they decided that Krishna was so fortunate that he could not be bound by any material condition. Thus they gave up the idea of binding him. But in competition between Krishna and his devotee, Krishna sometimes agrees to be defeated. Thus Krishna's internal energy, Yoga Maya, was brought to work and Krishna agreed to be bound by Mother Yashoda. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Meditam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Karoti Vachalam Brahmum Lankariti Yakripa Tamam Bande Shri Gurum Kirtayanam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. We are being mercifully transported into the world of Shri Krishna. So those who have come for the first time, you may be aware or not that Krishna is the name which describes God as the all-attractive person. So all-attractive because he possesses all opulences in full. We are attracted to persons that are wealthy, and God, he owns all wealth. Persons who are beautiful in their bodily features, they adorn all the magazines, they are on television, and people adore them for their beauty. So God, Krishna, he possesses all beauty, all knowledge, he possesses all strength. He's all renowned. Just like sometimes devotees, we put on a chariot festival for Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. And so many arrangements go in. Devotees are preparing for months, getting licenses from the city, organizing chariot. And then it happens that on the day of the festival, sometimes it just rains heavily. And devotees sometimes are a bit shocked. Why is Krishna doing this? We did all this for his pleasure, and now he's spoiling everything, or he allows the rain to come on the day. So, but this is Krishna's renunciation. He's detached. He's not so attached. Of course, he has his attachment, which is what is most important for us. He's known as Bhakta Vatsala. He's very much attached and favorably disposed to those who are devoted to him. So Krishna, he made his appearance in Vrindavan, village town, maybe 90 miles outside of New Delhi. Of course, we understand that when the Lord comes into this world, he brings the spiritual world with him. So the spiritual world is then manifested on the material plane, so that the Lord can do two main things. It says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chatuskritam. Paritranaya sadhunam means he wants to please the devoted, the faithful. And then he also wants to remove obstacles to religious life, spiritual life. Or in some incarnations, he kills the miscreants. So Krishna appeared over 5,000 years ago. And here we are hearing how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of everyone and everything, he is dealing with his mother. So it's quite paradoxical how the one who's unborn, who's the source of everyone, here is supposed to be dealing with his mother. So how to understand that God has a mother? Philosophically, God is the source of everyone. He is the parent of everyone. Therefore, he has no parents. He has no source. Because he is the cause of all causes. Sama Karana Karana. But then there's another aspect in the life of the Lord that he is particularly focused in loving dealings. He specializes in enjoying love, and is very expert at increasing the love which is felt by those that are devoted to him. And this is what is mentioned in the purport, that there is Krishna's internal energy, Yoga Maya. So in the realm of God, there is a spiritual energy which is in charge of allowing those who are with God to be in a spiritual illusion. In this world, he has an energy also called Mahamaya. He says, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavita. Mudoyam Nabijanati. That in this world, those who are foolish and unintelligent, ouch, Krishna is calling us, we have to own this. It's like pushing on the forehead. Foolish and unintelligent. For them, I have my Yoga Maya. I have this energy which is like a curtain, which is covering them. And therefore they do not know that I am inexhaustible. I am the Supreme Person. So when Krishna comes, he laments in the Gita 9:11 that Avajanti Mam Muda Manusim Tanushim. The people think that he is like any other human being. He came on this planet, he spoke Bhagavad Gita. So many persons saw Krishna, but not many people understood him to be the Supreme Personality of God. Because Krishna is always operating on the transcendental platform. So to see him is not a matter of using this eyeball, this flesh. Krishna is only seen through love. Lord Brahma says, Premanjana Chirita Bhakti Vilochana. So this month is dedicated to awakening the love of the living being in the heart for the personality of God. So many activities which are performed by the devotees, mainly they increase their hearing, their chanting, their remembering, worshipping, so that their loving mood towards the Lord is increased. And when that goes up, then they become proportionately qualified to appreciate the Lord and appreciate his position. So first point is that Krishna is not just an ordinary boy who is born in a village, but he is the supreme source of all energies. He is God. But for the devotees, due to their affection for the Supreme Person, then by the mercy of the disciplic line of realized professors, saints, then we are getting knowledge about God's intimate circle, what he does in his personal time. And here we find that he has allowed many devotees to act towards him in mainly 5 relationships. The spiritual world offers a feeling of neutrality towards the person of God. You just appreciate. He's amazing, but you keep your distance. Or you are understanding he is God and therefore you act in the mood of a servant. This is what is commonly known in religion. God is the supreme master and we are the servant. And most people resent this thing. They don't like the servant. Because servant has that connotation in this world. Boss, you know your boss, right? Yeah, he's not in some loving relationship with you. He would love to get your energy so that you can produce profits. He's more interested in what you can give. And also, hardly any one of us, unless it's your spouse who's your boss, are in love with our bosses. We go to work because we want to get something, so it's business transaction. So, servant. And then friendship. This feeling of friendship with the Lord produces a sense of equality. Then those devotees that are there feel that God is not someone just to be worshipped, but then he's their equal, he's their friend. And here we are hearing about parental love, where Mother Yashoda, who is glorified, that even Brahma and Shiva and the goddess of fortune, they have not received such a favor that they will have God sitting on their lap and taking breast milk. Someone may say, what type of religion is this? What type of process is this? Don't you people about self-realization? But this process where by allowing God to take breast milk from you, you are becoming the best of devotees. So it is a mystical position. So the acharyas are warning that we cannot gate crash into that dimension. We have to be qualified to properly be able to assimilate what is going on there. Just like in this world, how many years does it take one to graduate high school? 18 years. 4 years is just high school, but it started from preschool sometimes. So 18 years. And then there's college. And then you get your other qualifications, your doctorates, your masters, PhDs, where you get permanent head damage. So much time is spent in acquiring material education. And it's only offering you just a small aspect of what is available on the material plane. It's like you become specialized in, you're like a dentist. One dentist was telling me actually. He said in this field there's a lot of depression and even suicides. I asked him why. He said, Prabhu, even as I'm talking to you, if I close my eyes, I can see all sorts of dirty teeth. And I was like, even in his sleep, he's seeing just teeth and more teeth. And so it's traumatizing. And you can try to, if you have to see your own teeth, what's going on inside, that's also a bit yucky. And then you have to deal with strangers' teeth. So anyway, you specialize in just dealing with teeth, and naturally then you become very puffed up. I'm a dentist, you get X amount of money, and people think that you are all-knowing because you're such a qualified. But it's just a small aspect and a dirty aspect of material existence. Just dealing with people's mouths. But when it comes to knowing God, it requires serious education. This human life is meant for that. Bhagavatam says that from the age of 5, one should begin their spiritual education. Komara Achari Prati. So human form of life is given specifically so that we can cultivate knowledge about God. So in the world today, that is lacking very much. And therefore we have emphasized too much this material world and the temporary relationships that are here. Of course, these relationships are a reflection of the original relationships which we spoke about. Last relationship is conjugal relationship. One becomes a lover of the personality of God. That is also just so mind-blowing. St. Francis of Assisi hinted at this in Christianity. How as he goes deeper in his sweet surrender to the Lord, he feels himself to be a young girl who is only attracted to the beloved, who only wants to embrace him. So others would think he's becoming a bit crazy, having some ideas of kissing God. But here we have that understanding from the scriptures that what is the highest here. Papa gives a very crude example that in this world, husband or wife, sometimes they have affairs. It's unfortunate, but it happens. And then when one has an affair, what they do is that they try so hard to show that everything is normal. But generally they are thinking about their paramour. So even though they're doing so many things in their life, they are thinking about their paramour. And because it's not allowed to do this, then we find the greatest happiness because we're stealing it. It's not allowed. Like you say, marijuana is illegal, then the kids are immediately they want to. When it's legal, it loses its, the hype around it. So the highest thing in this material world is this relationship between men and women, also husband and wife, also parents with their kids. So much affection is there. But in its true form, it produces the greatest types of happiness, which we cannot even imagine. And here, Mother Yashoda, by her love, she's concerned about Krishna. Krishna has become mischievous. So yes, generally people love kids that are mischievous, at least up to a certain age. And the kid is just too quiet and it's just like, what's he doing now? Well, he's still, there's no action, nothing to talk about. You don't want like a grave child, you want a child that's a bit active. So children tend to be very mischievous, and then it creates so much subject matter for the parents. You know what he did last week? You won't believe what he did today. He's so naughty. So Krishna is the perfection of childhood relationships. He is a very naughty child. And what has he done? In anger, because his mother put him down to save some milk from the stove, he was breastfeeding and he was enjoying the love of her mother. He became angry, he stormed out into the next room, and he started breaking the pots of yogurt and butter. And he took it to distribute to the monkeys. So Mother Yashoda, out of love, wants to reform him. We mentioned last night, we want to give him a timeout so he can go and think about his wrongdoings. But Krishna is thinking, oh no, I have so much games to play with my friends. Now I have to be caught up here, tied. This is village style. Instead of locking you in your room, she decided to get some few ropes, tie him to this grinding mortar that you see. Because that's where Krishna went to sit so that he can make sure he can see when Mother Yashoda comes to look for him. So Krishna doesn't want to be tied down. No one wants to be tied down. Krishna is supremely free. But now we see that there is a substance that is able to bind God. The most free person who frees others, he also becomes bound. But he's not bound by the rope's length, but he's bound by the devotion's depth. Mother Yashoda wants to correct him and out of love wants to tie him. So initially, they cannot do it. She calls all the other women, they are enjoying. What's going on today? No, he was naughty, now I want to tie him. But then, just do it. No, it's somehow that the ropes are always 2 fingers too short. Okay, we'll give you more rope. And they are watching. Still, it's not going on. They get more and more rope. So Krishna is increasing the enjoyment of the residents of Vrindavan. It's said that Swagosham Nibanjanta, he's drowning the residents in pools of ecstasy. Prabhupada writes that then they were starting to give up. We heard this child is very mystical. At his name-giving ceremony, it was said that he's like Narayan. So he has all sorts of mystical power. It seems that he cannot be bound. But then Krishna, seeing that her mother was trying so hard, parishrama in his sleep. So this is very important for us, that it will not be cheap, dear devotees, aspiring devotees, yogis, spiritualists. It will not be easy to arrest Krishna into our heart, or to become all of a sudden great lovers of God, or to become masters of our senses and become liberated souls. No, some hard work has to go into cultivating our Krishna consciousness, awakening our love for God, being free from the struggles of the mind and the senses. We see that even in the greatest devotees, hard labor, parishram. This material world, Prabhupada gives, he explains the Sanskrit alphabet. It's called Pavaga. And liberation is called Apavaga. So Pavaga means, he says, Pa, Ba, 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 and Ma. So this Pa means parishrama. We are found to be working hard in this world. It's not easy to maintain body and soul. Bhagavatam says, if one can maintain a family, husband and wife and kids, is considered an expert in this age. So sometimes people are very proud of that. I can run my household. So if they find some mendicant who's, you don't even have a housewife, what can you tell me? So anyway, parishram, we are working hard. And when we are working hard in this world, we see that also animals, when they work hard, like horses, even devotees sometimes. Too much kirtan, one of my most favorite devotees, I won't mention his name, is very attached to the holy name and is chanting on the streets at 75 years old. Practically 3 hours every day. He's playing accordion and traveling the world. And after singing, we generally tell Maharaj, you have nectar, take care of the nectar. You know, he will start foaming at the mouth. So even in serving Krishna, chanting his name, foaming at the mouth. But this is meaningful. In this world, we are foaming at the mouth for things that death will snatch away. And then while we are working hard and foaming at the mouth, then bhaya, we are afraid. We are afraid the taxmen won't cheat us, that our business won't go under, that we won't lose our reputation, criminals won't steal from us. And ultimately, death will come and take away everything we've worked for. So, in one sense, Krishna consciousness is advertising the joy of the spiritual world by giving us entrance into what Krishna is doing with the liberated souls. But also, it is reminding us of where we are and giving us impetus to slacken our grip on this world. So we want to become attracted to the spiritual dimension. And how do we do that? We hear from the authorized sources, like we're hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Puranic scriptures. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Upanishads. Bhagavad Gita is spoken directly by Krishna, so it's coming from the authority himself. Bhagavatam is spoken by the devotees about Krishna. So we can save ourselves time by hearing from these books. And when we hear about these books, then our minds, which are materially covered, which are full of our own biases and prejudices, which are full of our own special tastes of enjoying matter, they become purified. And when they become purified, then we can start to have a taste for this subject matter. Everything in this world is done based on taste. You don't do something which you don't get some enjoyment back, generally. Of course, we go to work, but the taste is that there's money at the end. So money is the honey. Spiritual life also, we may not have a taste for hearing. We may not have a taste for chanting. But if we expose ourselves to this transcendental sound vibration, we will become purified. And then the natural spiritual taste of the soul, who we really are, will come up. And then our eyes also will become open. We'll see that actually I'm banking into the wrong bank account. Imagine you're depositing for 30 years into some account thinking, my life savings. Come the day you go to the bank and you want to withdraw, they look at your ID, they want your social security number. Well, this is not your account. No, I've been depositing, it's not your account. So you've thrown away all your hard work. So if we are investing only in the pleasures of this body, and we are putting only faith in this intellect, which is materially tainted, then we will be cheated in that we will not have access to the higher spiritual knowledge. And then at the end of life, Krishna says, those who have not developed love for me, then they enter again the cycle of birth and death. But when we hear about Krishna, we appreciate the sweetness of Krishna's activities. We are transported into the world where we are actually free. We are actually happy. And this is what we are looking for. We want financial freedom, we want freedom of speech, all sorts of freedoms people want. But then freedom from repeated birth and death. Where will you get that freedom? It's only God who created the laws of birth and death. He can free the soul from the cycle of birth and death. And how does he do that? By displaying his pastimes, enacting these activities, this drama, when he comes into this world with his associates, as we mentioned in the beginning. And then when he does this elaborate drama, if we give ourselves a chance to hear about it, we will become attracted, we become purified, and then we'll begin to enjoy, experience our actual essence, spiritual enjoyment. So we are inviting everyone to continue, those who have in this month, to hear this pastime. We're hearing year after year, so many of you have been hearing for many, many years, from many, many other speakers who discuss certain aspects of the Leela. But it never becomes just dry, because it is living, it's dynamic, it is Krishna sound vibration. So please be encouraged to hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And in hearing about Krishna's name and qualities and pastimes, we will find what we are looking for in freedom, in happiness, in liberation, and in love. We'll again meet that beloved person, the one who knows each and every one of our heart's desires. Krishna, the one attractive personality of God. So thank you for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mother So that was mainly for Srila Prabhupada. We're trying to repeat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I don't know if there's any quick comments from anyone. Because Krishna says, time I am, the destroyer of all these worlds. So also, he's controlling us by time. Cannot speak. Anything from anyone? Comment, question? So thank you, especially guests. I hope something resonated with you, and that you are willing to investigate, probably something.
In Krishna there is dentists.
In Krishna there is dentists.
Thank Krishna. There are dentists.
Oh, we should thank Krishna for dentists. These poor souls have to tolerate all the happenings in our mouths. Yeah.
Rupa Goswami said that the only thing that can disturb our concentration to Krishna is tooth pain.
Yeah. You feel like you could just step out of your body, or just remove your head and put it aside when you feel pain as well. So pain also serves
A purpose.
a very good purpose.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
His Grace Saraswati Prabhu ki Jai. We hope you will think of coming back here again whenever possible. Thank you. So we have Tulsi Aarti, the men can come this side. The mothers are there already.
विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः
Hare Krishna. So, those who are new, we're into another mystical part of Krishna consciousness, where one of the spiritual servants of the Lord has come with Krishna for his pastimes, but has taken the form of a plant. So don't think Hare Krishnas are just crazy worshipping some plant, but because the plant is also a soul, and this soul is a liberated person, we are seeking the mercy of the dear devotees of God so that we can get audience with the Lord. It's like you go to the secretary to get an appointment and then like that. So yeah, enjoy the mystical worship of Tulsi. Oh. It can be strange.
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha
Tulsi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha
Radha Krishna Deva Pao Abhilashi जय वन्दे देवी भक्ति प्रदान श्री तुलसी महारानी की जय। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सचा विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सचा विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सचा विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः। कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदान श्री तुलसी महारानी की
Krishna. Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes the shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestowing your mercy on him and make him a resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you will also grant me a residence. Pleasure growth of Shri Vrindavan Dham. Thus, within my vision, I will always behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of the cowhide damsels of Braja. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maidservant. This very follower and lonely servant of Krishna prays. I am always swimming in the love of Shri Radha and Gopi. Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Om Premanande.
Shari Govinde, Namo Brahmani Vaishnave, Swapa Punyavatam Raja, Vishwasana Vijayate, Sarira Bijaja, Jorinde Jayaka, Jive Pile Vishai Sagare, Dharmaje Jivayate, Loba Mois Durmati, Takejita Katina Samsare, Krishna Varadayamon, Harivari Jivata, Swaprasada Nadiloba, Sayanamrita Pao, Radha Krishna Gunaga, Premadako Chaitayanita, Jainimai Jainita, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadada, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Shri Bhagavat Prasadam ki jai, Sunday Love Feast ki jai. Oh, Premanande.
Hare
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So now, Shraddha will be served outside. Please help in serving if you can and not wait for the Prasad. Thank you very much.